Invincible.
I did, and I'm gonna look real stupid. I'll be right back.
All right, let me go get some water.
Who does that? All right. Lord, who does that, right? Goes live and then walks away. All right. Welcome. I know I'm the one late. So we're just here. There he is. We're just here having some fun. It's no straight topic we're going to get into necessarily. But we're definitely taking any questions and comments that we got coming. But let me just make sure we're going out okay. 1 second. How you doing, Ant? Oh, you walk.
I'm doing great. It's a blessed Saturday before Resurrection Sunday.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, my mom's guilted me, not with the blood of Christ, but with I'm a grandma and I want to get my grandbaby an Easter basket. Ain't nothing you could do, and you gonna come get me, and we gonna go get that Easter basket. So that's how I'm spending my Saturday.
Okay, that's how it's supposed to be, man. We gotta keep that tradition going. You dig? That's how my mom she made Easter baskets with Gracie and stuff. We really supposed to carry that on, man. We got to go ahead and get our Easter basket material and take that on next year. You know, Big Mom ain't gonna always be here, sir.
We'll have that discussion off air.
That's if you. I understand there are different, beliefs and stuff and all that.
Thank you. Yes,
we do.
I didn't want to turn this into the 700 Club. Or do you like Prince did Morris? Now look here, my brother. Do you understand that we ain't supposed to be messing with that blood? And the bunny is a pet. No, I didn't want to go all that.
I feel you. Well, you can always go buy you some of those Nas X shoes. How about that?
Oh, see, man. And I missed last week some of the stuff y'all went into. Again, brilliant imagery, but I ain't trying to have that energy. I'm sorry. I'm just unless we beaten Satan to death. That's about it. That's all I can give.
Well, let's welcome our people we got. So let's say hello to Joshua, Kimberly, hello, Marilyn, Devin. How y'all doing? Welcome for those on YouTube and for those on Facebook. Myself, Michael Dean, and Pooh. We're just going live. We didn't have a set thing. I just called him up out the blue. And I said, see if you wanted to jump on. I was recording something else. And I was like, man, today I got time. All right, peace. So,
yeah, man.
Can't look
at the same anymore.
Yeah, but hello, good morning to y'all around the world. Yes, we are live. So you found us. You got to us when we're talking live. There's a few things I guess I could.
Shout out to Devin and Haley.
Good sister. Yeah, definitely. She stay on it. B1, of course. Those who get that. What you doing? Are they doing dishes back there, Aunt?
I don't know what they doing. I'm gonna be right here.
What was I gonna? Man, I had a couple of Prince moments the other day. One, I wanted to talk real quickly about the Come album. I don't know if you like that album, or I don't know how you feel about that. Go ahead. You was gonna jump in.
Yeah, I've rediscovered it, and I found some really good cuts on it. So I learned to appreciate it in my old age.
See, I'm kind of that. I guess I just had. I mean, I know the album. line for line, word for word, and all that, of course. And I remember the day it came out, buying it. And at the time when it was initially released, some of the songs had been leaked out before the album, so I already knew them a lot. And I was thinking, oh, he's gonna come with just something totally different. And so getting the album, I was a little like, that song's already worn out, or and I was kind of like, I didn't shit on it, but I was just like, it didn't blow me away. Though I listened to it, But the other night, man, I started playing it. And I'm doing this with a lot of some of his albums that I wasn't like all in before. I was like, I get this album. Like, this album is fire. Like, I see why I see certain people online. They be like, yeah, they come out. I'm failing you right now. Like, God damn. Of course, I love the song Come. There's a couple of different versions. I love this album version. The length of it, and when the horns come in and then you just run, and that's my shit, man. I just could see, like, if Prince, if he had like a hood video, like, this is how I look at things. He had a video, and he did it in like New York, and it was like in the streets. You know how they have people when they be dancing down the street, line dance. I could have just seen Prince like in the middle of that, and the big sunny lights came on. They just all going down the street grooving, and they free and stuff. I'm rambling, but that album, man, is banging. There's so many cuts on. Even like the songs I wasn't Pheromone. I was like, yeah. And again, that song previously, that was the theme song of one of those BET shows. I can't remember the name of the BET show. Oh. Yeah, he gave him the music, because that, but he takes out that little horn line in this version. He plays a little bit, but I had already heard, I heard that. I was like, why is he doing? But now listening to it, I was like, this shit is fire. Like, I just heard what he was doing. I think some of it was the way the songs are mixed a little bit. They seem to be a little more heavier with the drums and the beat and that type of stuff, but a lot of his playing and stuff is sort of underneath that. But I could hear it. I just was like, okay, this is some real Prince shit in here. It's just mixed a little different. Same with like the song Space. I used to love that song before, but now, man, that song was just getting in my heart. I was just like, this is ill. Like, this brother is on some other stuff. Video Vibration. That's what somebody said. That was the song Pheromone was. Video.
Yeah, my joint is Papa. I love that.
Amazing. I was just like, yeah, some dark. Yeah, all of these songs, dark. I was like, I love me some Adore. I was like, I have to put it right up there with it. Like, it's just like right there. Like, I say, dark as a mother.
You can't be blasphemous on this Holy weekend. Sorry, son.
I'm just saying, it just hit me, man. I was just like, the album is even the song I always would skip or I clown. I listened to it and I was almost about to start crying. I can admit I was getting emotional. Was Solo. Like,
it's a beautiful. That's mostly acapella too, right?
It is. Oh, I was like, you know what? It took me this long, but I get it. Like this, it was like I was like, you were in this regular Prince thing, and then he just took you to, and he has never done nothing like this again that I can think of top of his, that he just took you into a whole other realm. And I was like, this is his voice, man. Like, man, so I can't say enough. Dope album.
You trying to say it was like his response to Mariah and Whitney? Because they were saying they were the best voices. He's like, let me give y'all this.
Well, I mean, he's a great with his voice. I'm not gonna compare it, but it's just the emotion of it and just the sonics of it. It was just like couldn't believe it, man. Couldn't believe it. Yeah. I was almost to the point. I was like, man, you see that Sign of Times back there? I think I might get me the cover of the Space Come album. Put that bitch up for at least a month or so. That's how much I was like, Yeah, I was like, yes. Space Universal Love Mix, those 12-inch versions, yeah, those are the jams. But yeah, come albums. It's
I
tough,
guess
man. It's
I'm
tough.
looking forward to the day when I have that type of epiphany experience with Emancipation that you had with Come
Ah,
and some of the others.
yeah, that's a cold album too.
Because yeah, I can't. I think it might have been the Sirius XM station where they played. I think they played Soul, not Solo. They played Dark and Papa, where I first got put onto this album again. And I said, let me go back and listen to it. And I just came across these things, and I'm like, dang, he puts out some head scratching albums, but he don't put out a bad one.
Nah, it just, I think it's a lot of it's, at least for me, it was my expectation of what I thought his album was supposed to sound like. That's always the thing that I think I tripped up on because I wanted it to sound the way I thought it was supposed to sound, but he came with a whole different, and it was hard for me to like, what I mean? That was my issue. I think to me, with people, when they think of when you go from Purple Rain to Around the World in a Day, looking back on them now, many years later, they're not very different, actually. It's just your expectations of what you think he's supposed to be don't normally line up with the next shit he dropped. He be on some other shit. And I look back at most of the records after Purple Rain, and they sort of fall into that. It's like sort of built this thing up that it was you fell in love with this, and then he just kept evolving, and your expectations is to sound like the last shit. And it's like when you drop Parade, you're like, whoa, this is I ain't never heard it. Okay. And think the next record gonna be like Parade. Nah, you drop a whole other wavelength on you. You're just like, whoa. And then the next one's a whole nother wavelength. I say, well, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, and even in that, when you get to another record I listened to, Chaos and Disorder. And I
Yeah,
remember
that's the joint.
I
That is
remember when that first came out though, I low-key shitted on that album. I had got an early copy of it. I can't think of the brother's name too. Good brother. I think he was the manager of Michelle Adenichelo or something. But anyway, they were in town. He said, "Man, come and see me. I got something for you." And he had a cassette tape of the album. I couldn't. My brain thought Prince was supposed to sound one way at that time, and he was on some others, and I was just, I can't. But and I know the album word for word, line for line again. Listened to it the other night as well with new ears and just a new sort of mindset. And I was like, this nigga is rock. Like, this shit is good as hell. I was like, wow. I couldn't really hear it before. I was like, I hear it now. And even in some of the songs, I think they could be, there's just the way they were mixed, the drums or something. But I was like, when you just listen to the core of the music and you hear Prince's playing and shit, it's phenomenal. And the singing, the emotional weight on some of these songs, like how I just can go from one thing to the next. And I was just like, this is bananas. And I was like, and this is something like he's supposed to be just like, I don't want this album. Y'all can have it type of attitude. But I was like, this is ridiculous.
Here's my leftovers, my throwaways.
Yeah, like
I mean that the first four, you got Chaos and Disorder. I like it there. Dinner with Dolores, the same December, banger, 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 banger.
that's my what song do I like the most on Chaos and Disorder? Right now. What's up? Same December. Is that's
right? Yeah.
I don't know.
For
it
me,
just hit me a little different. When I heard, I get like emotional. I was just like, man. I was like, he going in that bag. But go ahead.
Yeah, for me, it's I like it there. The first time I really listened to it was when I went to the Live Out Loud show in Anaheim out here, and I heard that. I was like, "Well, what the hell is this?" Because you listen to it, but you're not really paying attention to a song. But when I heard him performing live, that's when it was 2012, I think it was. That's when that became part of my regular playlist. Great song.
Yeah. Just Great album. Go and you know, I'm starting to think like I'm gonna just start listening to some of the albums that I kind of glossed over the times, you know, and let me separate, you know, like I said, separate my expectations of what I thought and let me hear this man and listen to everything. And the later work is just as strong as anything else. It's just again where you come in, what you bring into it, but just listen to him. I say this, it's all Prince. I can still hear the same Prince I could hear in For You and stuff. I still hear the same shit in these later albums. It's just that the technology is different and the sonics may be a little different, but it's the same.
I guess
For the most part.
Y'all go ahead and get ready to clown me. I guess I'm gonna have to do the same with Controversy. I'm not a big fan of that one, so I
Really?
might have
Okay.
to go back and try to be more sophisticated. Yeah, Do Me Baby, Let's Work, yeah. Controversy, I got to be in the mood for. But the rest of those songs, I'm just like, I'm not really feeling them. But maybe I need to go back and try to get in Prince's head and vibe with it.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I think off the top, if you said Controversy album, the first song I'm playing is Private Joy. That's
quintessential 80s music right there. In my opinion.
that's that sound. That's that sound. I heard that. I was like, oh, he does this. It's just sound that poppy, happy, but it's still funky to me. And just like, I love it. So there's a couple questions. I don't want to. How do you feel about Rave? You mean like the Rave album? I'm cool on Rave. Like there's some songs that I love on there. That's another one that for a time I listened to it heavy when it first came out. But I only listen to I think my favorite song on there is The Greatest Romance and what's from that song.
Silly Game.
Silly Game. I just like that for some reason. But
I mean, I think an underrated jam on that album is Baby Knows. I really feel that. And then I saw a live performance that he did. I want to say it was in a French TV or maybe it was Sweden, where he did it live and just murdered it. Uh, Great performance. I like the Hot With You remix where he put in the what's that? What?
This is your likes. I'm not.
I'm like, dude, the way he put in the Nasty Girl sample in there. Come on, man, that was a banger. Come on.
Is that then he had Eve on there? Or
yes, he did. Yeah, he had that on
cool. There. I was kind of hating back then, but that's cool. Again, I'm not saying the song. That was my problem. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to see him do that, but I get it. I get it.
Which part, the rapper or the sample?
Kind of both. And I didn't think the song initially was all that great, but I felt like, okay, he's trying to do his supernatural thing, collaborate. I guess he's trying to stay hip. I get it. You know, get it.
To me, that one, that was a good one. With the sample. You know, Diddy? Yeah, I think Diddy did do that with the Nasty Girl. I forget what. I think it was last night he did that one. Yeah.
Okay. I see that was the album. I have to get all into it, where he had the remix version album. And again, my expectation, I thought, he was going to do a remix album. I thought he was just going to totally drastically do the songs different, but it was like it was just a regular remix album. And there was some cool stuff on there, but I was like, man, I just thought he was supposed to be doing something else. Again, that's my issues, not Prince's. Another question here from Lawrence is, in y'all's opinion, which one is better, Gold Nigga or Money Don't Matter Tonight? I'll let you answer first.
Money Don't Matter Tonight. Love that song. It's a nice little, I would call it, what it was, Sunday drive grooves to it. And then he has some great lyrics and messages in there as well. That was a live, not live, but that was a band performance too. So good to hear the other people on there as well, especially Michael B on the drums.
Yeah, I Money Don't Matter. That's just a great song. to me, I picked that one all day for sure. Um, let's see.
Another great performance of the harmonies with those vocals at the end. That boy bad.
Mhm. uh, Seeing everybody rave. Trying to catch up. Sorry. All right. What are we at here? Okay, here we go. Rave had a lot of bangers on it. Hot with You, The Moon, Sun and Stars, Every Day is a Winding Road, Pretty Man. Pretty Man. That's right. I forgot about that song.
Well, Marilyn, I'm sorry I registered too late. I wasn't able to get into this controversy symposium, but I will definitely seek it out.
Interesting. I've been having crazy. What's that? I don't even. You got to dumb it down, Patrick. I've been having crazy something over the album Love Sexy. I think most
Epiphanies. Yeah.
Epiphanies. I can't read. Epiphanies. Clown me now. I think the most intriguing song is Positivity. Ah, yes. I'm about to get into Napoleon Hill's book, Outwitting the Devil. Oh, you going deep. I dig it. Think and Grow Rich. It's the song Let It Go. Yeah, that song, man. Song Let It Go was a song that sounded like he was not going to be a workaholic anymore, and his music after Come started to reflect it. Interesting. Car. Yeah, that's another great song. Somebody, I saw a question in here. Oh, here, let me show that. If you could work for Prince, would you? Interesting question. And Pooh, we can't hear you.
My baby's here.
Oh.
Sorry.
I got
Say
you.
bye, Mike.
Bye. We'll see you next time. You know, here I don't know if I could. I've said this story before, and I'll just keep it super brief. But there was an opportunity that back in the website days where Prince had reached out to a number of fans, myself included, and tried to get input to help with one of his early websites. And I ended up declining that just because I think at the time, one of the things Prince was saying, like, you would stop what you were working on and work on that. And that, for a person like me, that's can't do that. But
you mean they wanted to Netflix you?
I mean, he had Prince way of doing. You got to be all in on this, which I can respect. And salute to my guy, Sam Jennings, because I think that was sort of the opportunity he took it to the top. Did his thing. But in terms of if I could work with, I'm sure I could. It's one of those things where I don't know if I would want to meet him like that, because when you look up to something so much,
heroes, say,
and then like that first time when he's like, "Man, quit bullshit, Mike," or pulls my coat, and then in front of somebody, I'm not built like that. Where I would just take that, and so I don't know. I don't know if it would be great for anybody, like, type of thing. And I'm not used to being under people like that anyway. I'm used to working for people for sure, but I would imagine to be working with him, you got to be at the top of your game. And he looked like he's not playing around. Like, when you hear the stories of like they be going in on people, and I just wouldn't. It probably wouldn't. That'd have got me. They'd have had the cops called out. Got a disturbance at Paisley Park. Brother out here acting a damn fool. So, yeah. But anyway, what would you think?
I would have worked with him. I don't know for how long. But I just think about, one, the access, and two, just based on what, some of the people that work with him, from the Kim Berries to Dave Hampton and the like, that you just could learn so much that could hopefully make you a better person or understanding within the industry. Now, at the same token, probably wouldn't be for long, because You just can't take the super duper alpha male that bark at your ass on some shit. Like, yeah, I can't do that. I ain't built for that. Nah, sorry, dude.
And I asked you to get me some water. Well, I thought you meant. I don't want to hear what you thought I meant.
He's like, no, I meant from Minnetonka.
Nigga. You try to show up your car key. We've been asked to escort you out the building. Like, what? I was just working 8 hours. Nigga.
I'm like, no, I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him.
He doesn't want to talk to you. Tell him I'm rehearsing.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that, again, there's a whole wealth of knowledge you can probably definitely learn from him and learn in that environment. And probably just learn from yourself as far as how you run a business, run an operation, how you lead and guide people.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know for how long. There's a reason why people left.
Well, I think that's the way it's supposed to be. Like when you're around somebody like that, that's such a, so motivated, so strong of a worker. You're only supposed to really be in there. It really almost is supposed to really be like your education. Like you're supposed to go in there and soak up game and see how a big organization, is ran like that and what it takes to keep that rolling, and then take that and go do you. So I would have loved to be being like, like I was fascinated when we were talking to Alan Leeds and he was saying, Prince offered D'Angelo, like, just come and hang out, man. Like, let's come on the road. You know what I'm saying? Soak up the game and relax your mind and stuff. That would be the kind of stuff that I would be like, if I was to do something like that, I would take them up on that for sure, man. And just really sit back and peep out and watch. Yeah, that would be some shit.
Devin Haley, she said, as long as he is married, I would have worked for him. He seemed more laid back when he was married. There you go.
When you're married, you're supposed to be laid back. You got your queen, and you're supposed to be straight.
Yeah.
I see. So I see people talking about Earth, Wind, and Fire. I assume this is in relation to the Versus battle.
Yeah.
Who's the Earth, Wind, and Fire? And Isley Brothers, right?
The Isley Brothers. Yes.
That's gonna be dope, man. That's gonna be dope.
And they knew the exact. Now they definitely knew the exact weekend to do that because they know those old folks.
Oh, Easter.
Yeah.
Oh, it's this weekend. Is it today? Oh, okay.
No, I think it's supposed to be tomorrow. I think he said tomorrow. The 4th. Which I'm like, did you really want to do it on Easter Sunday? But maybe late in the day, people got their.
Well, people are at home,
so
most of the churches probably not really popping like that still.
That is, you know what? Damn it! I'm thinking on that pre-COVID mindset. Yes.
There you go. You were supposed to be schooling me on some religion talks, but that's okay. But yeah, man, that's gonna be amazing. And I think they got Steve Harvey hosting it. As a matter of fact, so I know he's gonna come with his suit. He better, man. I know they're gonna show out. That's one thing they're gonna come with it. That's dope, man.
Now, I mean, again, we pay respect to the elders. It's about a love and respect for the music and the industry. But who you got winning?
Only because I feel their music more. I'm gonna say Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like that's just
really.
I listen to them more than the two of them. The two of those groups.
I had to go with the Isley. I feel they have one. They have a longer spanning catalog, and two, I think they have a lot of different genres of music, or I should say eras. Like they had that twist and shout type thing. Then they had the disco. They had that slow jam in 70s. They got into the 90s. Unfortunately, with Aura, but still was able to put out some bangers.
Down low. Oh no, they're classic. I can't take nothing away from either one of them. Not at all. Here's a funny. It says, Mike, you didn't seem thrilled when told that Elton John was going to write the foreword for the next Dwayne book. I didn't. We're starting to start a mess. Is this the case? No, I have no problems. Like I think you probably just saw me reacting to something I was doing as I was talking on the screen, but I hadn't knew about it. He told me about it earlier, so it was I just was like, wow, like that's amazing, man.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I have no issue. Who if so well, so if yeah, there's no even no need to do with the rest of that, but yeah, no problems at all, man. Salute to Dwayne. Let's just jump into some more. Oh, let's man, prayers up for DMX, man. I'm sure we all saw the news. Just had suffered from a OD and a heart
Yeah,
attack. Ah, man, you know,
they say drug addiction is an everyday struggle. Even when you get sober, it's still a
yeah,
daily struggle. And it's just really sad because we just had that Snoop DMX verses, and you saw the love and respect
that's
that
right.
Snoop had for DMX, and was just like, showing him love, and pretty much telling everybody's watching like DMX was the man, and I rock with him, singing his songs, and people were just loving DMX, period, loving on him, and seeing him interact and have that moment to be revered and spotlighted. And I just feel bad because, to say it's a struggle.
Yeah, you know, the even the sadder part about it, you know, I hope he comes out of that. Well, we all saw it. Well, for those who pay attention to him, you could see he's going through, or he seemed to always be dealing with something. And that's just, you know, I look at it. He was a dude to me, and not far off from our age. You know, I remember when he came out, and you know, he was one of the biggest rappers in the game at one point. Like he was the man. He was dropping albums, top number one albums back to back.
Mhm.
Like he was doing his thing, and he had movies. I remember going to see his movies. It was the one with Romeo Must Die. He had a little part in that one.
Cradle
Uh,
to the grave.
Cradle to the Grave. What was the one? He had that one movie. His last sort of mainstream movie was him. Never Die Alone, I think it was. It was actually based off of a crime novel. I thought that movie was really good, man. It was a dark kind of movie. I remember I saw that opening day. I was like, I think he might be on his way to do something for real with movies. Then he just kind of, I don't know, something must have happened after that point because his career kind of went a different direction after that. But yeah, talented dude, man. Mad talented.
I guess I need to check out Never Die Alone.
Yeah, he's plays like a, I don't know if he was just like a hustler or some enforcer
Oh,
dude or something, but it was good. I thought it
and
was
we
good.
we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the hood classic Belly.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Yeah, he came out banging. Just after dropping that with the album, that's like, man, who does that? Like, he just came out of nowhere, man. But yeah. Let's just jump into some more questions. We're catching up. Do you think Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak make it easier for us to cope with the loss of Prince, being that both artists seem to have a bit of him in their musical DNA and performances? I don't know about the making it easier thing, but I do love both of them brothers. That last Anderson album is, I wore that out, still play it. You know, that album is banging. To me, that song they have out now together sounds like something that would have been on the last Anderson album, easy. So if they just come in with some more of that, I'm all in. Like they doing it, man. I love it. It sounds different than what's out today, but it reminds me of the old school music that I
And
normally listen to. So I love
and
it.
this is no shade to today's artists, but that's good because when you can have something that's different that nobody's doing right now, it makes you stand out, and hopefully it starts a renaissance of people, trying to change up their music to be against what's currently on pop. Now the only problem is where the labels go for that.
You know, I don't, at this point, I don't know how much the labels even matter per se. Uh, you know, the thing is, Bruno Mars is a superstar in terms of music, so he probably can do whatever the hell he wants to do at this point, which he seems to be doing. And then Anderson, this is just a great come up for him, but he's already been doing stuff. You know, the only thing I would say about the song and what they do, it's obvious both of them are heavy and deep music fans. Like, they really probably geek out on music. Plus the fact that they make it, but that they heavily geek out on it. And The only thing, I put them almost like in the same way I would put, and I'm going to use film as an example, like what's the guy I just started watching this movie? Pulp Fiction. What's his name? Quentin Tarantino. There are certain guys who are so much of a fan of stuff that most of their work is sort of them like just trying to redo the stuff that they love. And with like a Bruno Mars, I can feel like he loves the music so much. He can imitate it in a great way, and you can feel like he's obviously such a fan of it. But my only thing is, I just don't want them to get away from them not creating their own new music that people 30 years from now would be doing the same type of thing for. So we don't want to get stuck into a place where we're just redoing the
that
old
is a
stuff
good
and not
point.
adding anything to it. Almost sometimes like that whole neo soul thing, some of them started to get locked into that where it's not, you're just trying to, it's like you're bringing the vibes of that older music, but you have to rise up and push forward from that too. Like, and I think that's what Prince did brilliantly. Like you could see he was a fan of music, but he still put his touches on it and made it to be something else. So he wasn't just doing James Brown, like, so when he does Sexy MF or The Work, where he's literally just doing James Brown. He's not anymore like putting his stamp on it. And I say this, and that could be a crazy take. This song with Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak, and even the song Bruno had, his two bigger cuts,
Uptown
24
Funk,
Uptown,
20,
those are his versions of when Prince did The Work and Sexy MF. And what I mean by that is how they are just on the backs of a previous generation sound. They're just emulating it. And to me, that's Anderson or Bruno Mars doing the same thing. He's just emulating the older stuff, but hopefully that isn't his entire style. He's got to be able to push music forward, if that makes any sense.
I
But
get what
I
you're
think
saying.
he's amazing. But he's amazing.
Yeah, he's putting on some great stuff like Finesse. That was another great banger. And then of course, even before when he was the super pop with I Want to Marry You. It's amazing. That's his signature cut. Treasure, though those jams. Well, I'm saying jams. Those songs.
Yeah, those are
So
great pop songs.
and yeah, and I think about it like he made this pivot, and to your point, like they'll be they'll be inspired to duplicate what he did, but it wouldn't be his stuff. And I think that kind of does do a disservice to him, even though he had I wouldn't say bigger, but as famous songs with the ones I've mentioned.
Yeah, and hopefully they get enough time to continue on and do their stuff. But
I
the
got love for
throwbacks
oh,
always sound good at certain times.
I got love for Rashida Coleman, but come on, to me that's all he does, copy, and I'm not interested. Come on.
I could understand that point though. I could see what that means. I mean, because to me, I think he does copy. It just in a time of today's world, that's enough almost. If you consider what he's going against, there isn't really much competition to be on some super like well, there's no competition for a guy to be like a Prince or just to be like a Stevie Wonder or somebody who's going to create new shit. There's really no need to do that because the marketplace doesn't dictate it, and they're putting out, people are getting famous not for the music anyways, for all the other antics, man. So I think the most of the time is spent on the brand as it is to the songs. Like you can take any of these super big artists of today, and if they were forced to just to release the music and you couldn't put no video or no pictures of shit to it, and it was just what it sounded like, we would probably not be messing with most of these people because it's like you hear that one sound, okay, that one's dope. Okay, there's another song that sounds kind of like that. Okay, but then when they all start to sound the same, you're not gonna listen to those other ones. You'd be like,
And this is kind of has me thinking about Beyonce. you're talking about being on the backs of people. As I saw really excellent documentary last week that debuted, Tina,
Mhm.
emotional as well. I mean, some of the stories she was telling us,
I
things
gotta
she was
finish
going
that.
through
Yeah.
with Ike and her the way she was growing up. But seeing her performances from like the 70s to the early 80s, it really reinforced that Beyonce definitely was influenced and inspired by Tina. And you see, in her early performances, I don't know now because I haven't seen much of her live, her stuff now, but yeah, she was able to, take that inspiration, carve out her niche, and now she's grown from it, but she still has that raw energy that Tina gave her. And I just, if I didn't know it before, definitely reinforced it. Tina Turner was a bad mofo.
Yeah.
He
And
was a
I'm
bad.
watching that same documentary, and I didn't know a lot about Tina Turner other than I know she, what's love got to do with it. I just knew about that much, and that was it. So just watching that, I was like, I'm looking at it, and I hate to throw this comparison in there, but I was like, the first thing I started to think, and I'm an older dude, I was like, oh, Beyonce's following this, or it just made me remind me. I was like, see,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know what I mean? I was like,
That's
wow.
no hate, no shade,
Yeah, it's
Beehive. Don't
not to
come for
shade
us.
neither one of them, but I was just
You
like,
just clearly see the influence.
yeah, I see the inspiration, and I was
Inspiration.
like, okay, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't really realize how big Tina Marie was. Like
Tina Turner.
Tina Turner, excuse me, Tina Marie, hilarious. But yeah, Tina Turner was fine as hell. I was like,
Yeah. I mean, and
there's
you
a
gotta
lot
look.
going on because don't she really just be overseas now?
Yeah, yeah.
And
She
I don't know if
she
they
she
touch
seemed like
on
she
that.
was. No, no, no.
Okay,
She just pretty much, essentially what she said was she was tired of America. She really didn't have any friends,
right.
so it was kind of easy for her to just go on her Josephine Baker and bounce to the Europe.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into what I was going to say about that, but it's very interesting. There's a lot to be unpacked on
And-
why she has to go over there, and then just how they accepted her, and how she
right.
came back in the game. But man, fascinating.
I mean,
Salute
just
to
to
her.
think that, in my opinion, the biggest artist of the last decade is inspired by this woman who was a big artist in her own right, and even a more revered and a huge star over in Europe. That was just amazing how it always is cyclical, and how it inspires the next generation.
Yeah, yeah. Let's
Seeing her in these huge freaking stadiums. Because I'm looking at this like, who the fuck is going to see Tina Turner like that? And I'm like, I
yeah,
don't know shit.
yeah, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You must go see that documentary, and you would just be like gobsmacked. She's like in her late 60s, performing in these huge freaking stadiums, and they out there just dead. All not mostly white. I don't think I saw a lot of black people
That's
out
all I
there
wanted to ask. Like,
singing along with
if
that.
she came here to America, will we go out and riot for her in a stadium like that?
Not a
And
stadium. I think an
yeah,
arena. Yeah, stadium. I don't think so.
and that's sad, man. But
You know.
but the game is fun. It's a fascinating. I'm gonna definitely finish watching that. Salute to
Yeah.
Tina. Another question here. You have to strip Prince of one of his superpowers: his guitar playing, Lindrum programming, bass playing, keys, or vocals. Which one do you get rid of?
For
Or are you saying
me,
to that would be the one that takes it's not going to sting that much? Is that what that is? Like,
or maybe he just doesn't have it at all. He doesn't. For me, it'd have to be the keys. It'd have to be the keys
hmm,
because I mean, come on, he's a he's a guitar rock god, or at least one of them. But then the underrated bass that carries a lot of those songs, and then the Lindrum programming. I mean, he's probably the greatest ever. So I'm not touching that.
okay.
So it'd have to be the
What'd
keys.
you pick? Oh, the
No
keys.
disrespect to the keys. I'm just
Yeah.
saying those other things and the vocal, nah, you need all of that.
So I would pick the Lindrum programming. Only
Get the
because he could play the drums. So if the Lindrum programming isn't in all the albums, like he could use a different drum machine if I'm nitpicking, right? But at the end of the day, he can play drums, or he can. I mean, he can get John Blackwell or Michael Bland or Sheila E. or somebody. So I mean, the drums gonna be banging, either way. The rest of them, yeah, I couldn't touch. Yeah, not at
No,
all.
no, no. Why do you say you would hold on to the keys,
As opposed to the
the
drum part,
drum?
drum.
Yeah.
Well, because he can play the drums.
Okay.
So you don't need it. So the thing is, Prince doesn't need a drum machine. If you strip that away from him, it's still gonna be the beats, the drums still gonna be banging. When I listen to when it's just Prince and Morris and they locked in, ain't no drum machine playing. There's some two brothers grooving. So as long as you got the basics. But that's an interesting question though. Let's see here. I'm so far behind.
Funky Fridays, he said. Back to our Tina Turner discussion. Sad that Tina can't even get appreciated by Black folks out here. Nobody's saying that. Not saying that.
I kind of low key am saying that.
Really?
Oh well, I just only go all into it, but I don't know the whole story. So I don't know. Like I just find it fascinating that she seems way bigger overseas. Like icon. When I heard of Tina Turner was What's Love Got to Do with It? But I knew she had been out before but I just didn't know nothing about it. And I almost felt like she was a new artist. But I was just like, man, she's established. And then when the movie comes out years later, I was like, oh, okay. But I'm sure she's not the only artist that has that type of experience.
Yeah, that's Kelly Rowland. Carl Perkins, he said, salute to you, bro. I did security for Tina at Wembley in the early 90s. She was incredible. Nonstop dancing in heels for 2 hours.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know how. I was watching, I'm just jumping around. I was watching the video to Nothing Compares to You. And it's the one that has the rehearsal footage of Prince and Revolution. Yeah. And you can really see his shoes, the high heel boots. And I'm just looking at him dancing. I was like, it looks so ridiculous. I mean, I was just like, how is he doing that? Like, there's never been a panel or a discussion. I was like, he's literally doing all of this dancing and jumping around and spins. He's got these, I don't know, 6-inch heels on. I was like, how did he do that? Like it's when you look at it, when you can really see his feet, there's a part of it that is almost like it is so ridiculous in a good way. It's so like he was really a special dude. Like he was really an artist, like just doing the most, and he was great at it. And it's not a slang, but I was looking, I was like, you forget that he's wearing that. That's like, because he just looks like he's the man. And he is the man. Like you watch him doing, he's gigging, but then he's like, but you don't understand. Look at his shoes. Like, how did he?
I'm sure he from some of the women back in the day that had to perform in like that.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Like, and I'm looking at it in my mind. I'm like, I would be so focused on trying to sing. This is rehearsal, and we're playing the songs, and we're trying to, get the songs right, and then he's also probably sort of monitoring everybody else's playing and making sure they're right. But at the same point, while his brain is doing all of this, there's a small part of his brain who is so focused on staying, balancing, wearing these shoes, and how to move his body without breaking his ankles. I was like, how does his brain work? Like, that's why I was like, that dude is a genius, man. He is such a smart dude that he's probably got to have all this stuff going in his mind. And even the thing of challenging, of balancing your body on these heels has to engage your brain. And I was like, does he probably needed to have all of that? Like, they were just so active. I'm just kind of going out there, but
Joey Coco 99 said, remember, Prince was short. He had a low center of gravity. Plus, he was an athlete. I don't know. I've never
but I mean, like,
do that. So
And maybe that's what I mean. Obviously, athleticism is a lot. You know, I don't know about yeah, you're saying he was short. That's true. But I was just like, man, I was amazed. I can imagine if I would have been there and just like the first time you saw him and you knew Prince and you're just like, dude, how are you doing this? Like, I would be so focused on that aspect. I'm like, how did you do that? Like,
And the thing was, like you said, like just like Tina Turner, dude said, 2 hours straight, all over the stage, going from keys to guitar to drums to, well, I don't know if he did bass, but you know, that's just amazing, doing all of that and in heels.
yeah, we paid the price a little later, but
Yeah, sadly,
man, good Lord.
he slowed down a tad bit. Yeah. Here's interesting from Mr. Walker. Do you think we're ever going to get a director's cut of Purple Rain with the deleted scenes? Or how about a color version of the Under the Cherry Moon? I think, well, I believe that film is owned by Warner Brothers and AT&T. So you never know. They're looking for content. So you never know what they may do.
I think that'll happen one day. It may be after we're gone. Who knows? But I mean, yeah, I don't see. Yeah, it's a classic movie. I'm talking about Purple Rain. Like, right. I'm sure there will be. Well, they have yet to put Purple Rain on 4K. They can do that. And that could be another release.
I say take a page from the Snyder Code and start your release the Purple Rain uncut. Buy you some billboards.
Release.
To put all that energy in.
Release the color under the cherry moon movement. That's what I'm trying to get behind. But yeah, you're right. Cats could start putting it out there. You know.
What did Prince say? Willing to do the work. That's what you got to do. That's how they got it done.
They definitely they should definitely do a 4K release of Purple Rain though. That'd be awesome, man. Yeah. Great. Well, yeah, good question. Let's see.
A 4-hour version of Purple Rain.
I would watch. I don't know if it'd be any good, but I would probably be fascinated to see that.
I already know what would be the most watched scene in that 4-hour cut.
Boy. But the barnyard.
Yep, I can see all that. Probably the most paused scene in history.
Yeah, that's why we need that 4K. That's all I gotta say.
Someone asked, what do you guess will show up on the Diamonds and Pearls Super Deluxe? This is from Ronnie Badra. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name.
Oh, what's up, Ronnie? Man, there's a lot of songs. One, I think, top of your head is the song Schoolyard. Would be one I can think of. That's a good question. I can't think of off the top of my head the songs from that period. I know there are different versions of the songs, obviously, but
this is interesting. They started they're going back and forth in the comments. Who was Prince's sexiest lady?
Oh, like the proteges and different things of that nature?
Yeah.
Man.
First of all,
let's name some of them. Go ahead.
Now I was going to say, first of all, we could probably do a starting 22 football team with the baddies that Prince had.
I'm just trying to think off. Well, I'm just going to think off.
I mean, we got
Jill
Susan.
Jones.
Yes.
Jill Jones, Susan, Vanity.
And I owe Jill Jones an apology because I was hypnotized by Apollonia in '84, and you all know why. I know the scene. But when she came back in Graffiti Bridge, I was like, I felt like, why the hell is this dude sweating Apollonia and Aurora and Jill Jones? God damn. And then he let Morris get her. Come on, man. Pimp game slow.
Hilarious. So yeah, Vanity, Maite, Apollonia, Nona goddamn gay.
Yep.
Andy Allen. Yeah, Andy Allen. Let me just stop it on the gay for a second because I don't know if she get enough.
Don't get.
I know everybody. Yeah, Vanity. I get. But Nona Gay though, man, yeah, she's bad. Nona Gay's. Anyway, okay.
No
I just had to give a little moment for Nona. Robin Power, Tony Boyer. I'm saying it. Troy Bear. Wow, what am I talking about? Troy Bear. God, I'm skipping over a lot.
Susan Muncie and Susanna Melvon.
Carmen Electra. I feel like I'm still.
And then there's Madonna and Kim Basinger. But
yeah. Oh, Kim Basinger. Yeah. What's the lady? Is it Kimberly? She was in Purple Rain. She was a brief moment in Purple Rain, but she was. I'm sorry. Forgive me, y'all. If I'm getting my names wrong. Sheila E. Kat. Veronica Webb.
I heard her.
Old girl from the Spice Girls.
Oh, that's my number one. I'm sorry. Scary Spice? Yes. That is my number one.
We used to have
she is bad.
Blade, yes. Kim Upshur, that's what I was talking about. Mel B. Yeah. I always want to know what the story. Well, I don't need to know the story. None of my business.
But if someone gonna give you the info,
but it was just like when you saw that interview come out, and then you hear the song, and I'm like, we talking about Prince.
Wait, which song is this?
Mad Sex. And you see Prince, and I was like, did he really have some other fine ass rock star fly all the way to America just to interview? Now maybe he would, but I was like, she didn't just go home right after the interview. I don't know. But I'm like, I think he was married at the time.
That's what I'm saying. He took her to Lake Minnetonka.
None of my business.
But I'm sorry, Mel B. Maybe I have to look at that list again, but Mel B is definitely my top 5. That is a beautiful sister there.
Oh, for sure. Manuela, salute to her. Devin, yes, definitely.
Devin, who's Devin?
She was a Playboy playmate. She got a Prince book out. Matter of fact,
shit. Okay.
Came out while he was alive, I believe. I could be wrong. Ananda Lewis.
Easily. Okay, everybody keeps saying this chili thing. Is that true? Did anybody have receipts on that?
I don't even have receipts, but I think there was a story. Wasn't some story where Prince rolled up to her house in a tour bus or something? Yeah, I'm not lying.
What?
Yeah, I'm dead. I remember reading this. I don't remember. I don't know if it was
thirsty, if you ask me.
The TLC interview or was a Prince thing, but they definitely have some kind of connection there. I don't know what it is personally. So none of my business. But it was, I guess we're trying to say who is
the sexiest.
The sexiest. That's not who's the most beautiful. Who is the most sexiest of them? Sexy is hard to do.
I would say it's got to be
even for the most beautiful person.
I got to say it's a tie between Maite and Vanity.
Explain that to me.
Well, I mean, Vanity, just a beautiful woman. Full stop right there. And then she knew how to play to it using Prince's songs, using creating her own persona. Just extremely sexy. I've seen her in interviews, and all you can do is you just cannot be blown away by, God damn, this woman is fine. I wish she would give me an opportunity. When Maite, just her dancing. I'm sorry, I don't see how any man watching her perform on stage cannot be turned on by Maite. Just amazing the way she moves, her body, just everything. That's why I put those 1, 2.
All right. Well, if it was between those two, I have to pick Vanity. I think Vanity is sexy. Now, it's one thing that she looks beautiful, but just from my limited sort of what I see and stuff, she seemed like she looked like she was Prince, like the female version. And sometimes Prince can just emote that whole thing. I can see that as a man, but to me, Vanity as a woman, she was just like, I mean, she was sexy. Just the way she seemed to carry herself. I can't even, and we've talked about this before. I don't even know how. I think Purple Rain would have been a whole different movie if she had been in it, because I think her presence is so big in a way, and it would have fit perfectly in that realm, as opposed to her presence in like Action Jackson or some of these other movies. She was incredibly sexy in those movies, though. But
so what? Never Die Alone. I think she did with John.
That's
Stamos.
Another one. She looks 52 yes. Pickup is another one you need to go. There's a couple of pause-worthy scenes in that movie, but that's the old school. You stop the VCR, but yeah,
I didn't say do
Vanity
type of moment.
Vanity is yeah.
What she had said, she was walking sex.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah, man.
Oh, we forgot about Last Dragon, of course. Yes.
Last Dragon.
Mm-hmm. She had that boy stop looking for the master for a minute. You're like, what was I looking for? Oh yeah. Someone mentioned the dancer from Kiss. Yes. That she definitely was sexy.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. What women did you ever see? Well, I mean, you would pick Vanity. I said some of these women, they don't seem sexy to me as I think about them. I think, except for, I would say this: when I used to watch not Purple Rain, Sign of the Times, the first time seeing Kat, like, absolutely, I thought she was incredibly sexy. Like, as a young man, I couldn't really it's a lot to be watching. Plus, Sheila E. It was just like, I didn't know who she was. Kat was just like, where did he find her? Like, you know what I mean? Like, she on that stage with him, just that same kind of energy. I was just like, I don't know if I've ever seen him have that to that level.
Remember, but the first time where I was like, oh my God damn, this with Kat was I was watching the Prince of Paisley Park documentary, and they had the clip from the performance of Alphabet Street from the Love Sexy tour, and I was like, okay, sorry, forgive me. She was in her underwear with that polka dot top, and I was like, and I mean, it's not like she was twerking or anything. She was just literally walking across the stage, and I was just like, God damn.
Yeah. I don't know how he did it, man.
I don't think you want to know how he did. You want to be a conquest.
I mean, man. And we haven't, and that's the one thing we have not seen since. I don't know if this is politically correct or not, but in terms of like just the people that Prince had around him and the artists were so like, just like they were these things that were just like, you didn't forget them. And I don't know if you've ever seen another artist. I have to say maybe like Dr. Dre, in the sense of introducing different artists to the scene that he would put out that made a hell of an impact. But yeah, I mean, just that was the thing. Like, who's Prince's newest sort of person that he was going to put out? You always had to check it out. Like, it was always like, they have a cut. There's a thing about them. Yeah, he had that, man. That's another part of that's. We're all over the place, but that would be another thing they could somehow spotlight, was to really give a real shine to all the artists he put out, man. Like,
I thought you were going to mention that ever since Prince, we haven't seen a man have a harem like that.
Harem.
And I was going to be like,
my brain was kind of going down that pathway, but then I was like, yeah.
I would say Derek Jeter kind of got close.
Well, I mean, that's foolishness. But man, we in here kind of heavy right now. 100 people. Thank y'all for coming through. We're just talking about. They're talking about what's old girl?
Who's married to Lorenz Tate?
Yeah, I forget her name. Somebody will say I met the sister too. She danced with Prince. I can't think of her name right now. Y'all gonna put it in there. But yeah, she don't want to forget about her. Oh, somebody also we mentioned Madhouse Queen herself, man, Cena. Boy. Still bad. What's up to man, Cena?
Who? Thomasina Parrott? Who is that? They said that's Lorenz Tate's wife.
For some reason, I don't know why that doesn't sound like her name, but where's my man Rodney? Rodney know all these people, man. That's
Are they saying Geneva? Was
Geneva?
that
Yeah, that's who we're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's in my top 5 too. I saw.
Yeah, man.
I saw it was the 2000 Hit and Run shows, and she came out in that schoolgirl outfit for Darling Nikki. Yes, that woman is sexy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Salute to that sister.
Salute to Lorenz Tate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. No doubt. But man, I don't know what else we can get into before we we've been here an hour.
Well, if you're gonna go into some non-Prince stuff, your thoughts on Godzilla versus King Kong?
Man, loved it, man. I thought it's a fun movie. It's fun. You threw me for a loop there. No, I enjoyed the movie, watched it at home. It's an action movie. Salute to the special effects. The movie makes no sense to me. Like it was just, I was like, the people's reactions to what's going on in the movie, I was like, they just don't even, it's like nothing to them. But that was the fun part about it. It didn't take itself serious because there was so much wild things going on. I was just like, huh? Oh, okay. But we are already 4 or 5 movies deep into this franchise. So
right.
I can believe it all. And the battle at the end was so like epically ridiculous and dope. I was like, there's millions of people being killed here. They're just not even.
Well, they're animals, so
I know. But
hold
just
them
like
to the Superman standard.
I was almost like the tragedy of this is not them fighting; it is the destruction. I just couldn't believe. I was like, this is wild, but it was awesome. Though. It was just like, wow, yeah. F those people.
Andre, I guess CR. He said you have to rewatch. It does have a story. I'm like, okay. For me, I was just like. I think after the first 10 minutes of Kong and Godzilla going out,
and let's not spoil it. That Chloe's true. That's not
yeah. I just was like, okay, well, let's move on. They had a nice little other thing that occurs. I don't want to spoil it for Chloe. And I was like, okay, and then it was like, okay, they're just hitting each other again. Okay.
Oh, but that's when I fell in love with the movie. What you just said happens because they don't make no damn. But I love that. Love it.
I was like, oh shit, this is about to pick up. Okay,
there's an anime at that point. I love it. Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of fun. He just came inside and whipping. Like
it was in game too. Some of it was in. I was like, they're doing this in game with monsters. I was like, okay. The technology is here because you could have never done that back in the day where it wouldn't have looked it would have looked ridiculous. But
yeah, have you seen that little GIF or clip where this is from a Godzilla movie where someone's holding a monster and then Godzilla slides on his tail with a drop kick?
I
gotta find it because I was just like, yeah, this is just so ridiculous. So they kept the same energy with it. So props to them. But my thing is that even if it ain't a great movie to me, I'm glad they're making these different type of films where it's not all the same stuff. I mean, how many Fast and the Furious is? How many Mission Impossibles can you be? Here's some ridiculous monsters fighting type stuff.
Yeah, and I will say the director, there's a theme, I think, a visual theme to this movie of the neon lights and the super bright colors. And if you watch that, I watched it on my TV in 4K and stuff. It looked fantastic. It reminded me of the Neon City fight scene in the name of the movie. What's the movie with the big mechs, the robots? It's my favorite
Pacific
movie.
Rim.
Pacific Rim. That part of Pacific Rim where they fight in like Tokyo and the neon lights at night. They do a similar sort of thing in the Godzilla with the neon lights. And you see it if you actually look at certain parts early on in the movie, they're foretelling that. They're showing you little neon type things and stuff. And then when it gets to that part in the movie, it's just the colors just it looked amazing. It was dope.
Shout out to Sean Hicks. This is Mr. Disco Hicks himself on the music book. He says Godzilla versus Megalon is when he does the slide. I don't know how you knew that off the dome, but props to you, man. Chloe asked, like, let's stop talking about the movie and what are we all cooking this Easter Sunday. And I bring this up because Rashida Coleman said ribs, mac and cheese, cabbage, and rice. And I'm just looking at that like, how does that go together? But it sounds good. I eat it all up.
Yeah, I'm not cooking. I'm going to my mom's. My mom's cooking, so I'm not doing no cooking personally. I actually wasn't keeping up that it was Easter tomorrow like that. I didn't realize it till Friday.
I don't know how you got there. How you not know that?
Man, working, just even think about it. But yeah, so somebody asked me, I think who was asking me that, but they was asking me how my Star Wars book was going. And he's talking about this right here, baby. But it's going good. I just started it. It is an interesting thing because it is the Star Wars Skywalker story, but told as if it was like a biography.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, so it's a little different, and it actually comes out. I think it comes out this Tuesday. For some reason, I was just in Barnes and Noble last week, just looking around, and they had these on the shelf, and I was like, "Wow, I never heard of this book. What is this?" So I just bought it, and then when I went home to look it up, I realized the book is not even supposed to be out yet, but somebody was over there slipping, so I got them. But it's going good. We'll talk about it in the show.
Have you seen the new episodes of Invincible and Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Have you?
I've seen both, yes.
I've seen both. Winter Soldier is dope. I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm so impressed by that show.
Yes, the last scene in the show is definitely a headbuster.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, in my opinion, this character does not show up and not get to kick someone's ass. I want to see that.
Right.
I don't care if it's Bucky, Sam, you can get them hands too, because you acting Sharon Carter, somebody need their ass kicked by her.
You're saying too much. All right. I wish Black Widow was still around. That's all I gotta say. I wish Black Widow was still here because that's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for that matchup between them two. But yeah, this one felt like a movie to me, and I was like, as I was watching, I was like, this is not over yet, and because it was like they were doing a lot. There's a lot of action, and also this episode was like on some R-rated type violence. Like I was actually shocked at the violence that was going on in this because that one lady was putting people down. Like I was like, man, is she on Batman v Superman time? Like this ain't that's not the normal Marvel movie. They don't get down like that. She was, because normally they're just fighting like demon monsters or aliens, but they was putting down regular people.
They letting y'all know this ain't that PG stuff.
This was John Wick. She was on her John. I guess the John Wick creator wrote this or something like that. Or
yeah, I think
yeah, because you can see it because she was. I was like, where's her? I was like, how come she don't got a show? Because this is.
No, the other thing is I'm like, wait a minute, where was this Baron Zemo in the film? Because he was putting in work.
Yeah, I kind of was like, so he's a badass too. I was like, okay,
but I mean, at least I was gonna say at least they established that he was army trained in Civil War, but I mean, to each their own. But I wasn't expecting him to be like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, somebody mentioned Superman and Lois, the new TV series. So far, I think they spent their whole budget on the pilot. Uh, I get what you're saying on that, but I'm enjoying that series. Thanks, Mike, for putting me up on it. Definitely keeping up on it.
I'm not keeping up on it. I got to go back and watch it. But I did like. I think I've seen the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, like normally they, when it comes to CW, when they have that teen angst storyline in there, it kind of has you rolling your eyes. I guess they've perfected it, and it's not as groan inducing as it was before.
Yeah, and Mary, we talked about Prince for like an hour, so we've, we've been we've been talking about Prince. We're gonna get always back to it. We're just kind of jumping around a little bit.
And then Invincible. I wanted a live action, but I'm glad they did animated because I don't think they would have been able to pull off the show that they're doing if it was live action. And so, props to that.
I fell asleep on this episode. So I gotta go back and watch it again, but I'm sure I will love it. I will say what I did watch, and it just continues to get even better and better, was Snowfall. That new episode. The first, I love the show. I love it to death. It's a great show, and I think Franklin is a very interesting character, and just the whole premise of what's going on. But this episode really hit home for me to be like, you know what? Franklin, he's the worst. He is like, the thing is, he is so intelligent, he's stupid. Because he is so smart, and it's the thing to see a young man take that and flip it into all this. But the fact that he knows what he is doing is killing his own community and people and friends, and he's still doing what he does. And I think his dad had that epiphany, and I was like, the dad is the freaking hero. He's the unsung hero of this whole thing, because he comes from the Fred Hampton School, the Panthers, and everything they were supposed to be fighting for and stood for. He is now the devil of it. He knows that the actions of his own son are destroying everything around them, and he's a participant in it too. But he justified it in his mind that it was okay because he had that group home and he's supposed to be helping the community. But the only reason they had that group home and helping the community is because of the death that his son and the government brought to that community in the first place. It just was like, it hit me so hard. I was watching and I realized he's doing the bravest thing actually by snitching, actually, because that's the only way. That's the only thing he could do, unless he has to come to an understanding that he is evil. No matter how he wants to spin it, he's the evil person, and he couldn't live with that, and he certainly couldn't live with his own wife has to sort of choose between the love of her son, but that means the destruction of everybody else because she doesn't. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
I forgot what he wasn't there at the beginning. What happened?
I think he was homeless or on the streets. Remember? And sometimes they would show him, and Franklin would see him on the street or something, and you didn't really know who it was, and they revealed that was his father or something like that. So he had either been a drug addict or alcoholic or something, and that's why he's so strong about getting people back on their feet now. But again, this whole thing is funded by crack sales, and then he's got, So I was like, this is a hard show because it's really about the destruction. It's really about people who destroy their own community for their own selfish reasons. And I was like, Franklin is really a coon. Okay. If you think about, because he knows what. Remember, they used to show him that he was really intelligent. And he would be at that library and be reading about the struggle and black people in slavery and all this type of stuff. So he knows all of this stuff, but through circumstances and then he's deciding to be the devil of it, even though it's killing even his girlfriend. Remember early on in the seasons, the young girl destined to be a great, she cracked out, messed up because of him. Her dad did because of him. Like he just destroys everything.
Damn, man, why you had to root for Franklin? Man,
I mean,
why you had to mess it up?
It's an interesting show, man. It's good though, but it shows you the dark side of it, man. Like,
okay, I see Mark in the comments trying to be messy. Stop it, Mark. Stop it. Why aren't you on the mic? You come join us and you bring that up.
What did he say?
He said Q versus BTS. I'm like, I ain't going there. No, I ain't doing that.
Q is not
you come on the show and do it.
But yeah, yes, Snowfall is the acting is good. Some parts of the bizarre. What's the young brother who plays the dude with the afro?
I don't know his name, but yeah, Leon.
Leon is dope to me. Like, on one hand, I was looking at that, I was like, if they ever did like a Prince back in the 70s and they was kids Prince and he was like a teenager, I could see him playing the young Afro Prince or something. And I was envisioning like Franklin, though he's too young, but if it was a Lifetime version, Franklin would be Peppy. He was like, I built all this up. No, Peppy. Man, he's tripping on him. Because you don't like the way I done the nigga. I can see him like that would be Peppy trying to go in there and get that opportunity, Prince, stop. But yeah, this show is great, man. I love that show. That's the one show I actually love on TV. Right
it's
now.
Funny. Leon and Tariq were rivals in on the Chicago gangs in Barbershop 3.
Really? I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Tariq was Cube's son who started messing with one of the local gang members. I think he was played by Tiger, and Leon, he got out of the car and was banging on him from another gang. I was like, wow, it's amazing how all this stuff come together.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But anyway, I think we're about to get up out of here.
There's no. Somebody said spoiler alert. There ain't no spoiler. We say anything.
Well, sorry. But man, I really appreciate you guys hanging out with us today and just keeping the conversation going, having some good time. Hopefully, you guys are having a relaxing weekend and doing some family time and taking some time for yourself. And of course, tomorrow, if you celebrate it, it's Easter Sunday. For a lot of us, traditionally, that was, you go over your grandparents' house or auntie or somebody and have a good dinner. You know what I'm saying? Watch a game or two. And so if you can do that, keep them traditions going. For some of my cats that are around my age now, we got to start the traditions up for our family. So, Big Mama or Granddaddy and them not here no more. What's up to us now? We supposed to invite the people over to our place and have dinner and break bread and see what's going on with the kids, all of that good stuff.
Slide them $1 or $2.
Yeah, give a little boy some money, put something in their pocket, make sure they mamas or whoever and they got what they need. But with all of that said, we're about to get up out of here. Listen, if you haven't already, two things. Please like and subscribe to this video if you're watching this on YouTube. If you haven't already, check out our Patreon page, where if you wanted to, support the show and get the episodes and things early, you definitely join us on Patreon. Put a link in the description and all that good stuff. But other than that, work it like a job. We'll see you later. Peace.